first time we met, she doesn't really like this story, but the first time we met, it was one of my good friend's birthday parties, and no one really planned it, so it was kind of an impromptu thing. So we met up with Alexei at Alexei's apartment to just kind of go out, have some drinks, things like that.
Our friend Emily, it was her birthday, and I'm really into throwing parties. I love birthdays and like celebrations, and we were like recently friends, and she told me like, oh, it's my birthday tonight. I'm like, and no one's doing anything? And I was like, no, we have to do something. And I was like, I'm gonna get ready fast. Come over, I'll have something planned. And she's like, you don't have to do that. So she's like, is it okay if my roommate comes? And I was like, yeah, I don't care, you know, but this is like about you.
And I've never met her before, so I showed up and I was just like trying to say, hi, how's it going, you know? And she just completely blew me off.
Hi, I don't know you, but like tonight is about Emily. We can talk later, like, what does Emily like to do? I don't really know her that well. So like that, I need your insight on that. And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of dismissed him because he wasn't helping my situation at that time.
Yeah, that was pretty much the first time we met. Didn't really talk very much that whole night, so.
So that was the first time I met, and I totally forgot about that until you reminded me. But after that, it's when I needed a date to a wedding. And that was when we actually like started hanging out without Emily.
So she called me and was like, hey, my name's Alexei. I was like, yeah, I remember we met before. She's like, will you go to this wedding with me? I was like, sure, why not? That was a couple months out, me being awful at planning things. I had prior engagements, so I had to tell her like, hey, I can't go to the wedding, I'm really sorry. I had something else that I already planned and I didn't realize it was that weekend.
And Emily said that, you know, he likes to dance and he'd be a great date. Well, he wasn't because he didn't come.
Lexi, being the feisty person she is, calls me and is like, hey, you blew me off, so now you need to come pick me up and take me home.
He was supposed to babysit that night, so that's why he blew me off. So I was like, let's hang out. And he's like, okay. And I was like, wow, he wants to hang out.
So that's what I kind of count as my first date with her. I went and picked her up, drove her home. We were downtown. We ended up stopping at a little taco shop. I think she got some ice cream and I got tacos. I don't know why. But we kind of hung out there and we just talked about random things. And
then we just started hanging out like in a friends group. I wasn't trying to date him at all. Wasn't trying to date anybody at that time. We started hanging out like in a group. So they lived at like the lake house. So we would always, and I was friends with Emily, and Emily lived with like 4 different guys at that time. But he just kept showing up and kept hanging out. And so I was like, okay, we can hang out, but like you're gonna be my weekend boyfriend. Like, let's just leave it at that.
I don't know if there's really a point where I could tell, but it was just always had a good time with her. And like 2 or 3 months in, I'm like, this is someone I really enjoy and someone that, you know, I can see myself being with.
It was like every weekend we were hanging out. So I was like, I feel like we've been dating. Like, we're dating, right? Like, but he didn't know that we were dating. I think I was his first girlfriend, actually, like real girlfriend, so.
Every time we went out and did something or hung out, we had a good time, so.
And Eli was 2 at that time, 2.5. And I said, you know, anybody that I have in my life is in my son's life. So I'm only gonna have people surrounding myself with good people. And so I was like, okay, I think he's made it past that. So it was like a Wednesday or Thursday night. I was like, do you wanna come over, have a picnic with me and my son at my apartment, hang out, and like meeting Eli for the first time. And he's like, yeah, I'll do that for sure. And I was like, so I got nervous. I was like, he's meeting Eli, it's getting serious. And then he's like, yeah, me and Ben will be over soon. I'm like, okay, no. Like, I mean, that's fine, I know Ben, but I was like, this is the first time you're meeting my human. So I called Emily and I was like, what is going on? And she's like, oh, Parker, he doesn't even know. Like, he doesn't know the significance of this. And I was like, well, there's no significance anymore. This isn't gonna happen.
I never really planned on being married or having kids, but after meeting him, I don't know, he's just, if I have a bad day or if something's going wrong at work or whatever, I can come home and he's always just in a good mood and having fun, and it just brightens up your day. It's great.
It's good. It's almost too good. Sometimes I get jealous because Eli's now, like, he's 6 now, so Parker did a great job of like coming in. He never wanted to step on my toes or anything, and then all of a sudden it switched, and it wasn't just hanging out with a friend. It's like Eli started hanging out with like a fatherly figure, and that was cool to see. And that was, I mean, years ago, and now it's boy stuff all the time. Mom, we're doing boy stuff. So I kind of miss that, because like that used to be like my little human, but now that he's growing up, now it's like, okay, it's boy stuff.
Favorite qualities? She's really smart, and she'll let you know how she feels about something. She's not gonna hold something back. She always just speaks her mind, basically. I really appreciate that about her, because if she has something she needs to talk about, she will come to me and talk to me. She won't talk to somebody else. Or if she has a problem with somebody else, she'll call that person and talk to them. And I think that's a really good trait to have, just to be able to confront somebody if you have a problem about something.
He's very genuine. That's huge. And I can be a handful a lot, and I told him that right off the bat. I was like, if we're gonna do this, I was like, you realize, like, I'm not a handful, I'm like 3 handfuls. And he's like, that doesn't bother me. I was like, you say that now. So, you know, whenever there's anything that comes up where I'm a lot, he's like, that's another handful right there. But he takes it and he loves it. He's great. And my mom and dad always told me, like, they're best friends, and they don't just love each other, they like each other still. And I was like, how do you guys do that? And mom and dad always say, you know, if you can find somebody that, even if they don't agree with you, they support you, that's your person. So that's Parker.
Pet peeves. I'm not much of a cuddler, and she is such a cuddler. So like that's one thing we just, like even when I'm trying to sleep at night, she'll try to like cuddle up against me, and I sleep hot, and I can't sleep if I'm hot, so I'm like, just don't touch me, please. Please, I just need to sleep. Like,
Parker pace. It's awful. I mean, it is. He will get stuff done, but it is on his time frame. So unless there's an importance for him, or if he planned it, he'll hustle and, you know, get out the door. But anything else, it's just like a Parker pace. It's just like, keep moving. You got to keep moving. Like, we are 10 minutes late, or in vacation mode, Parker vacation mode. It's like the minute he clocks out and he would like get in that car to go on vacation, he is just so obnoxious the whole time. It's like a totally different person. I mean, I love it, but at the same time, it's like, here we go.
The proposal was kind of interesting. I knew I wanted to propose, but I didn't know where to do it. I didn't know when to do it. And at this time, Lexi started going back to school, and she was a little stressed out about school.
I didn't know when it was coming, because I thought it would have happened before, but Parker pace, again, a little bit. So anyway, we were planning this vacation, and so I was like, there's no way he's gonna propose in the DR. That would be way too much for him to do.
We planned on going to the Dominican Republic, got that all set up. I went and got a ring in the meantime. I didn't call them at first, I emailed them and asked them like if there's something special I could do. They gave me a list of things, and I chose to do like a beach dinner where they literally serve you while you're sitting on the beach, and it was just us basically at night. It's a really cool setup, but getting to that point was a little sketchy. So I like paid for it, and I saw that the payment went through. Never received an email from them or any like confirmation. So I'm like, okay, this is a little weird. And so I ended up calling them, and none of them spoke English. It took them probably 30 minutes to find someone that spoke English. And then once someone finally did, they're like, yeah, you're good, everything's okay. And I'm like, so you're confirming that I have this for this date, and we're gonna have this beach dinner? And they're like, yeah, you're good. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll take your word for it.
The first night we get there in the afternoon, and I'm getting ready, and we're drinking. I was like getting ready. We're like, it's the first night here. We're here for 4 nights. And he's like, I was like, well, you go to the bar and get me a drink. And he brought me a beer, and I was like, ew, who drinks like DR beer? I don't want that. Like, get a mixed drink. He's like, well, let's just like take it easy for a little bit. I'm like, we just got on vacation. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, let's just try to like stay sober. I was like, we're on vacation. And I was like, hey, why?
So as I did, I ran down the front desk, and I'm like, do I have anything with this? Is this set up? They're like, yeah, you're set up. I'm like, okay, where do we go? Like,
and he's like, well, we have a dinner. And I was like, why would you do that? It's like an all-inclusive resort. He goes, well, I get it. Like, I wanted to plan one thing. And I was like, well, that was sweet. I'll give him that. So we were, you know, it was super nice and everything. And you can tell he was nervous because he just like wouldn't stop shaking. And I was like, it's I mean, maybe you're nervous because you paid extra for this. I don't know. But then we were having, and then all of a sudden, like, his whole body started shaking. And I was like, oh, something's happening.
But long story short, we walked down there and everything was set up. It worked out, and it was a really cool experience, having dinner on the beach and everything. And yeah, I proposed to her there.
It was great. It was awesome. And it was just him truly just saying, we are doing this. We have been doing this. Let's continue to do this. And he gave me the ring, and I cried. And when I stopped crying, about 10 minutes later, I finally saw the ring and everything. And I don't know, it was just like, nothing changed with the ring, which made it that much better. We were already doing our life together. That's what it should be.
The wedding day, I'm kind of excited to, I'm excited for the reception, because the ceremony we gotta do vows, and I get a little nervous about doing speeches and things like that. They always go well, but it's just, you know, nerves with that and making sure I've gotten all that set up. But so really just hanging out at the reception and hanging out with friends and family and having a good time is what I'm looking forward to.
Truly just celebrating with like our friends and family, but I'm just excited to actually like celebrate with everybody now. Yeah, and for us to start our own family.
I guess really looking forward to in the long term is just that fact that we get to be together.
It's like I found my person, so I'm excited about that.
Lexi, I love you, and I'm really excited to spend the rest of my life with you.
Parker, I love you, and yeah, you truly are my best friend, and I'm excited for everything. And that's it, because then I'm gonna start crying.